This podcast is brought to you by the Arate Podcast Pantheon. Please head to aratemedia.org to see all sorts of podcasts from our great friends. And if you would like to start your own podcast, they could provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. That's aratemedia.org. A-R-E-T-E media.org. On with the show.
On with the show.
I didn't mess up the intro. That was awesome. So, welcome to the Spur of the Moment podcast, everybody. I am your host, Justin Spurr, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, the incomparable Jordan. And today, we are joined by our friend Hailey from the Part of Your Broadway World podcast. We were going to be joined by Jake, but due to scheduling conflicts, he couldn't be here this week. So he'll come another time and talk about Don Bluth movies or another topic. I'm thinking maybe I'll ask him on in October to come on one of the many Halloween episodes we're probably going to do. I'm thinking maybe 2, but possibly 3.
Welcome back.
It's welcome back once again. Today, we're going to begin with some Broadway news, including we're going to talk about the Wicked trailer for a bit. And then I've got some, what is Lin-Manuel Miranda up to next? Gotta open my stories here. Spider-Man, who's directing Spider-Man? I got Venom. I'd like to know if Hailey's gonna watch Agatha all along, because there's some Broadway people in there, and that is interesting. And then later, Hailey is a Disney person, so obviously we're not gonna talk about Disney. We're gonna talk about DreamWorks, we're gonna talk about Blue Sky, and we're gonna talk about Laika. And we're going to play my favorite game of, I don't know whether or not the guest has seen these movies, so we're going to be like, has Hailey seen these movies? It's going to be fun. Stick around. Let's start off with, because I promised Hailey when I did her show last that we talk about the Wicked trailer. Let's talk about the Wicked trailer, because I have questions. First off, my first comment on it is the last trailer. Did you see the last trailer? Have you been just watching all the trailers?
Yes.
Yes,
I watched
okay.
the trailers as they came out.
Okay, because that last trailer, my first thoughts are just like, this movie knows that the only song people know from Wicked is Defying Gravity. Because it's pretty much all of Defying Gravity. Like, it's the entire... Yeah, see, this is the only reason why I've even heard of Wicked is because I watched Glee, and I saw Kurt sing it on Glee. That's where I first learned of Wicked.
That's my only...
On my podcast too, you said the exact same thing on my podcast, and I disagree. That's not the only song people know.
I mean, that's totally fair.
It's certainly the most recognizable.
I mean, I think some executive feels that way because it's the front and center piece of, I think, the first trailer was like teasing you. You got a few bars. This one, it's like most of the song. And hey, she's singing it very well. So you've seen the original Wicked?
I mean, I like that song. So I don't really see that as a bad thing. I don't think that as a bad thing.
Well, for you, Jordan, the funny thing about that song for me is it's the end of the first half song. So you know how every yeah. So it's like if you've seen Book of Mormon, it's basically Man Up. And so if it's the song that people are most like they know the most, they're gonna get it right as that movie ends. And then the movie's gonna be like big like show-stopping number. Movie ends because this is 2 parts. There's Wicked Part 1, yeah, and that's a news piece that I have is that they're moving up the date. So it's the Part 2's coming out. I think a few months earlier now.
Yep. No, a few days earlier.
Oh, was it only a few days? I thought it was a few months at least.
No, a few days. It was going to come out on the 25th of November.
How long is the gap? 21st. Like, is it like a full year, or is it like only like half a year?
It's like a full year.
Oh, it's a full year. Oh, interesting. So for your benefit, Jordan, what is the original musical? Like 2.5 hours? We talked about it on your podcast, but it's like 2.5 hours, right? Ish? Yeah. And then this movie is 2 hours, 49 minutes. So the whole musical, it's longer than the length of the whole original musical.
So they basically doubled the length. Then.
So like, how is that possible? I just don't know. We talked about how is that possible? Like, how much did they have to blow this thing out to push it into 2 parts? And what is the second part going to be? Because the second half of a musical is typically much shorter. So is that going to be like a tight 1.5-hour movie? Like a restrained 1.5-hour movie? I don't understand what they're going to do with that.
Well, my question is like, how is it going to be how is it going to be longer? Because like you said, it's a short musical. It's not that long.
Right, and
in order for them to have made it longer, they must be adding stuff.
That would be my guess.
In a musical.
Isn't the second... Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. The second half of Wicked is basically like, oh, it's now the Wizard of Oz, but it's from the Wicked Witch's perspective, and the wizard is the bad guy, right? That's basically it. I'm probably being reductive. But yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. So maybe you get more of the Wizard of Oz in it then? Like maybe they've added in like Follow the Yellow Brick Road and Somewhere Over the Rainbow, or like maybe that's it, because otherwise you're right. Like how do you, like, yeah, that would be like if you took Les Mis, which is like a 3-hour musical, and you took it and made it into 2 3-hour movies. I'd be like, why? Like, even I'm not a major Wicked fan, but even, I mean, I've always been interested in that, seeing that as a movie, because I quite like the song Defying Gravity, and I like the other 2 songs I mentioned that I knew. I'm not so much a fan of Popular, but For Good, I really quite like For Good. That's a good duet. But yeah, I'm just so fascinated. But so the trailer gives me, is it like real Mean Girls? We keep threatening to talk about Mean Girls, but it gives me real Mean Girls vibes. Like, is that the kind of what is that the vibe of the show?
I mean, yes and no. At the second act, they're like best friends.
Interesting. So because I've seen clips of the actual musical, and the Ariana Grande as Glinda, she just seems way meaner. Like they're really pushing at the mean, like to contrast how nice she is later on.
In the musical, she's really mean.
Is she? Okay, because I've seen some clips and she seems way more cutting in this trailer. I'm like, ooh, Ariana Grande is a bit mean. She's a bit mean.
She like has known Kristen Chenoweth, who was the original Glinda in the musical in 2005. So she's been talking to her, and she gave Ariana some tips. So I feel like she's going more towards that Glinda than previous Glinda. Fair.
And when I think of it, I mean, as much as I'm giving it grief for being 2 parts, I kind of prefer that, because I'd much rather that than what ends up happening with a lot of musicals, where they wind up cutting a lot out, and like a lot gets missed in adaptation from stage to film. Whereas this is like, this feels like it might be overindulgent. I don't know.
I mean, it comes across like they might be adding in deleted elements, or elements that didn't make it into the original musical.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, being a person who doesn't know much about it, I'm mostly devil's advocating here. But
yeah,
that's
maybe
what it sounds like. Sounds like it could be to me.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, but no. I mean, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna be there.
My only problem is Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's got a little James Corden in there, so I'm like, ooh, I'm a fan. I am a fan of Peter Dinklage, though. Like I say, the thing that I liked about it was it felt suitably like epic, is how I would describe it. Like, this is what this needed to feel like. It's giving a very theatrical kind of energy to it in its trailer. And I quite like that. So speaking of Broadway, I know you're one of your favorite Broadway stars, Patti LuPone, blew my mind, is in Agatha all along. So I can't remember, you're not really a Marvel person, right? Mm-mm. No. So like the fact that you're going to stomach this for Patti LuPone, that's
I never said I was gonna.
Oh. Hey, I mean, I would. I'm a big Patti LuPone fan. That song that the song that they were singing. I mean, I like it piques my curiosity. Anything that's potentially a musical, I'm always like, you know what? I'll check it out. I'll watch a couple episodes. Why not?
I never said I was going to stomach it. You put words in my mouth.
I mean, maybe I did. Maybe I inferred.
Maybe we can maybe in a future musical episode we can convince you to watch it and then come rant about it on here.
I mean, I don't even know that I'm gonna. I'm probably not gonna, but. So I have pulled you some fun Broadway stories that I'm just going to go through. So we have a mutual love of Lin-Manuel Miranda. And he is
I
currently,
appreciate him.
he is currently apparently working on a new musical based on the movie, and I don't know if you're familiar with it. I highly doubt it. The movie and book Warriors. I only really know of it because I played.
saw that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you did see that, yeah. I'm not super familiar with the Warriors, but I do know that it's like urban street kind of story. And given his experience with In the Heights, and I think that's a good fit for him. I'm just curious as to if it's going to be. I mean, with it being like but it being like gang related, it does feel like the place to do his rap thing. So it makes me wonder if it's going to be like very rap hip hop heavy again. I quite like his stuff. Like I've always said, I wasn't really super into In the Heights, but I love Hamilton. So I will listen to anything he does. But he says he's only doing it as a just a concept album right now. He doesn't have any intention of turning it into an actual musical, which is disappointing because that's a real like 80s aesthetic. That would be I think that'd be a fun stage show. But yeah, I'll listen to anything he does. Yeah. Let's see. What do we got next? We got. Oh man, that's not it. Okay, no, never mind. Bear with me while I quickly. So apparently, when you go to watch that Stranger Things Broadway musical that they're doing, apparently they're giving out Netflix subscriptions.
Wait. They're making a Stranger Things Broadway musical?
Not a musical. It's a stage show.
Okay, even still, that's not okay. You're blowing my mind a little bit there.
They did like another one before this new one that's going to come out. It's called like Stranger Things.
Oh really? I didn't know that. So this is the first shadow. So there was one before that?
Yeah.
Really?
Stranger Things is not one that I would have thought of for a stage production.
My thing is just like
kind of blowing my mind.
I'm like,
it's
what?
Like a parody musical.
Really?
Oh,
that's hilarious.
That's funny.
I've heard that this is the first shadow's good. My first thing is like, what is it? 6 hours long? Because it's Stranger Things. But it's about it's a prequel about Vecna. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've heard that there's a pro shot, and it's gonna go to Netflix. I heard that. Yeah.
Maybe I'll check that out then.
Yeah, and it's because with Netflix and whatnot. But no, apparently it's not bad. It really reminds me of the Harry Potter one, where apparently like the effects are quite good.
I mean, okay, I was gonna say the only good thing about the Harry Potter one is the effects. The story is
not good.
The story is stop.
But and then this is news I included for Jordan because me and Hailey have already talked about this. But they're doing a pro shot for the Frozen musical they're putting on Disney Plus.
Oh, neat!
I know. I was pretty. She actually told me that.
With Samantha Barks.
Oh really?
Yeah. She was in the Les Mis movie.
Yeah. She played. She's
yeah.
Who is she? She's
Eponine.
Eponine. Yeah, she's Eponine. Yeah. She was a weird casting in that movie because she's the only person who I think actually played her on Broadway. The rest of them didn't. But she did.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually Eponine in the the version that we like, the concert version. She's Eponine in that.
Okay. Yeah. The 20th anniversary, I think that was.
I think so. Yeah. So she's yeah. So she was.
Cool.
So she's also. Oh, that's interesting. That makes me even more inclined. I like Frozen. Look, I like Frozen. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I'm not ashamed to say.
I liked it when I watched it. I still like it now. Do I think Let It Go got severely overplayed for a few years there? Yes, I do.
I think I like it more than I did the movie. The movie is just a little. I wanted to blow my brains out the time that they played it.
I do not disagree. Like when that movie first came out, I worked in a mall, and they had a Christmas concert, right by my store, and it was like every third, fourth song was "Let It Go." often with drums, and it was like by the end of the day, I hated that song for like a solid 2 years. But I really genuinely liked it the first time I heard it. And this is a musical I've seen like clips of it, and it's really well staged. There's a really cool Hailey knows about it, obviously, because you've seen it, right? Like you've seen it live.
Seen what? The Frozen musical?
Yeah, Frozen musical.
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. I've seen
never seen it yet.
I've seen a few performances of Let It Go, and there's a really cool moment, which it's one of those, like, it looks okay on film, but I imagine if you're in person, it's probably mind blowing, especially if you're like a kid, like a really little kid. But there's a really cool moment
using her ice powers.
Yeah, well, where she does the quick change. To change out of the old outfit into the new I'm Elsa, I'm sexy. No, that sounds bad. But you know what I mean? Like the I'm empowered outfit.
Yeah. The blue dress.
Yeah. Where they do a quick change, and it's super quick, and the dress just pulls away, and she's in the new dress. And like I think I saw them do it on The View, and it looked cool. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And it's one of those, like, I imagine, like, in the theater when you're live, and like I say, if you're like 5 or 6 years old,
you're in the theater, you're like halfway back or something, not close, so close that you can see, like, and it just looks like it happens magically. You're a kid, yeah, that would blow your mind,
right?
Absolutely.
Right. So I quite like the Frozen show. It's one of my favorite Disney Broadway musicals. So that's pretty cool. That's going to Disney Plus. Like I said, like I've said to Hailey in the past, more fun. Pro shots, that's not fun. Less. More pro shots, not less. Yeah. Not less pro shots.
I mean, yeah, because it gives people opportunity to see something that they can't. Like, I will probably never be able to actually watch something on Broadway.
Yeah.
So to be able to experience it. Sorry?
I say, well, not just that, but like people that like can't afford it yet can watch it. But then when they can't afford it, they can go see it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
definitely.
It's only gonna bring people like the Broadway more money.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's like watching a show on a television screen and watching it in person, it's two entirely separate experiences. You're not paying just to see the show. I think maybe that's what they've kind of reduced it to. They're like, oh, you're paying for the whole experience of it. Yeah. Not just the being in the theater. The energy is completely different. Like I've seen
it's so different than being at home.
Yeah. Like when we went to watch Book of Mormon, even though I'm like intimately familiar with that musical, watching it in person, not so much for us because half the stage was blocked because of just how our stage is. But like a good portion of it,
it was still there.
It was still there.
The joy of watching it in person was still a thing.
So it's like that's what you're paying, especially with Broadway. Like that's what you're paying for, right?
Absolutely.
But also Broadway tickets be expensive, yo. Especially with the ones with the famous actors.
Well,
that's not even. That's not. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. But I mean, I was gonna say even during COVID, when Broadway was shut down, like bootlegs kind of saved my life. Like
yeah. I mean, that's how I've seen a lot of plays. Like I saw a good slime tutorial of Dear Evan Hansen. It's how I became familiar with that.
That's how I saw Dear Evan Hansen as well.
Be More Chill. That's why I've seen that one. Bootlegs are like, that's how we get to experience it as someone who lives on the west coast of Canada and is broke. Like, it's the only way.
Yeah, I mean, because there's not only the cost of the Broadway tickets themselves, but Lord knows I can't afford to fly over there, stay in a hotel for the time that I need to, and afford Broadway tickets.
Right. I'm pretty sure Broadway tickets are like... more than... I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Broadway tickets are like...
I can afford.
Yeah.
Just warning you, some of them are $1,000.
Really? I thought I was gonna go like 200, but
that's just the tickets, let alone the cost of getting and staying there.
Right. Right.
I think the cheapest is like $500.
Okay, yeah. Especially if you want good seats, I imagine. Like if you want in a good theater. God,
if I can get versions of these on streaming services where I can enjoy them and then be like, okay, yeah, that's the one that I want to spend $1,000 on to go and see in person.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like a preview.
Yeah, and they're always going to be like the Broadway versions are always different than the version we get here, which is the the national tour version, right? They're just always different. I don't want to say better,
Oh
but
yeah.
because they're in a theater for a dedicated amount of time, they can like put in effects, and it's just different. Like a tour has to be able to travel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Their special effects are definitely going to be different. That's for sure.
Because like Spider-Man, for example, the Spider-Man musical, that was in one theater and it was built to be in that theater. So they're like, and that's the whole thing. That's why a lot of Broadway plays want to be minimalist, is because that way they can easily tour it. Like I'm told, like I think it was like a SpongeBob musical.
I imagine that's why the Harry Potter one didn't do too much traveling. What with the using, weren't they using live owls and stuff in their show?
Yeah, well, to be fair, there's like two versions of that show, and I think the second version of it cut out the owls. I'm pretty sure, but like the SpongeBob musical, for example, I think was notoriously difficult to tour. Or like, there's one that was, I can't remember which one, but like Phantom is another one, which that the tour version's different. Like when it's in a theater in a residency, there's a big set piece where they drop a chandelier that they just can't do when they tour because it's just logistically impossible. They still do it. Do they still do it? I heard that they don't do it.
No, they do it. Well, they drop, but instead of dropping like toward the actors, they drop it down onto the audience almost, and they stop like it's like right before it drops on them.
Cool.
Interesting.
That's neat.
Interesting. Neat.
I'm learning all sorts of stuff today. This is fascinating.
So with that, we're gonna talk about a slight bummer, but me and Hailey talked about it on an episode of her podcast. We're gonna talk about the sad passing of James Earl Jones, and we're gonna take a moment to be like, major bummer, and what a legend.
That's sad.
Well, let's preface this by saying we started to talk about James Earl Jones. We went right into other musicals,
and then we went back into James Earl Jones. Always made it back onto the rails. I may take it off the rails, but I always get it right back on the rails. Eventually. We were very broad. I'm about to reduce him to 2 roles, but we tried to be much more broad than I've seen a lot of people be on the internet, which was to say that he had a very storied theater and film career. I posted on, if you follow me on TikTok, I posted a couple of King Lear, but he played King Lear very famously in King Lear, and obviously
we're losing you, Justin.
Damn it.
He'll catch up.
We're going so well.
Any minute now.
It's going so well.
That stupid computer.
We didn't have this problem at all last week.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Pause for effect.
We're pausing.
Man, it's really bad today.
Am I caught up yet?
Which is funny because last time we didn't have any issues.
Am I caught up yet? Oh, wow, that's really bad.
Just a think then.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is bad.
The stream is stuttering, too.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Dang it.
It's not usually this bad. Oh, I think he's catching up.
Oh, no. Oh, no. This is bad. Oh, no. Audience, I've lost Discord. Okay. The audience can no longer hear Jordan or Hailey. Audience, I'm sorry. You're going to have to watch me reset Discord. How's it going, audience? Hey, Spotify. Watch the Spur of the Moment podcast. I'm doing an impromptu ad while I refix. I'm coming back. My Discord just straight up crashed.
Okay, we can. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not usually that bad. I said that, so that sucks. The entire stream crashed.
Did it?
Yeah, it's down.
Ah, crap. Shouldn't be. I think
it is.
No, I'm not. I'm still streaming.
No, not on YouTube. You're not.
According to
It's
OBS, I
it's
am.
now a 24-minute and 4-second video.
What the hell?
Okay, well, I'm telling you, OBS is wrong.
What do I do? Crap. That sucks.
You stop.
Theoretically, starts the. Okay, I guess I stopped streaming. The stream will no longer be live. I'm still live though. Stop streaming. Man.
See, this is because we didn't have any technical issues last time. Of course, this time we have to have like the worst kind.
You guys are gonna have to. Sorry. You're gonna have to bear with me because, unlike the previous version of OBS, it doesn't remember what you just typed in. So you got to give me 2 seconds to retype in everything. Well, not retype anything because I can quickly repost it. Just give me 2 seconds.
Copy paste most of it.
Yeah, that's really dumb. That means I'm gonna have to combine those into.
It means more work for you. Yay!
It's gonna be a really awkward cut. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, where you just put in some like sort of funny joke in the middle.
Yeah, funny joke.
Like that song. Da 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 da. You know that one.
I mean, thankfully there's enough of a little buffer there of you guys going, well, he's gone. Where I can cut around that.
He'll catch up any minute now.
And then
any minute.
Then it just.
And then he just left.
It just straight up. It just straight up crashed. It was like, no.
And then I'm over here like laughing because I was like, what? What is going on?
Oh, I can have it remember that. Okay, that explains it. Really annoying. It wasn't.
The funniest part for me is when you're crashing, Justin. I can hear you in the other room, and I know that what you're saying, like on the stream, you're still talking about King Lear, and in the other room, I hear you saying, "I swear, I heard you cursing." Probably.
Okay, let's try this. Let's try this again, folks. I was in the middle of saying, I'm about to reduce him to 2 roles, like I said I wouldn't, but I'm gonna. Hi everybody on YouTube. I just yelled. My mic just peaked. Oh God, no, we're not looking at the other 2 people. There we go.
It's funny because on my screen, I'm still not seeing your picture.
Really?
Yeah, it's very funny.
Hold on, let me just go back in and out.
I just see your profile picture.
Let's just make sure we're live. We're live. Okay.
We're live.
Well, everybody. See, if you're listening to Spotify, there's a point where everyone goes, where'd it go? Where'd it go? And I might cut it out. I might not. Who's to say? Because my computer hates Discord. It doesn't have a problem with Zoom so much, but it really hates Discord. Anyway, James Earl Jones. Legendary actor known for Mufasa from Lion King and Darth Vader. Both iconic voices. He's just a voice actor that you're like, yeah, that's James Earl Jones. You just know.
He was also in Sandlot.
He was in Sandlot, and I realized also.
Which I never. I told you, Justin, I never knew that.
Oh, really? Oh, see, that's an example of you learn something new every day.
There was another one that you watched that. Oh, I'm totally blanking on now. You watched for the show that he was in.
Me?
Conan.
Yeah, there's
he was in Conan.
One. I'm struggling to think of it.
He was in Conan.
Yep. I think that.
He was in Conan the Barbarian. Yeah. I knew there was a couple times you popped up on our show.
Yeah, I just know that there's been a few times where he's been in it, and I've been like, really? James Earl Jones is in this?
Yeah.
Like, that was my reaction pretty much every time.
It's always fun when he shows up. So, I don't know, Hailey, have you seen...
Just kind of...
Sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
It's also just kind of sad because it's another Star Wars iconic legend who's passed away.
You're not wrong.
You got Leia... You got Darth Vader. Didn't C-3PO? Didn't he pass as well?
I don't know. I don't think so. I do not recall. But just because I don't recall doesn't mean it didn't happen.
It might have been the actor who played R2D2.
Oh yes, he did. Yeah, that was. I'm pretty sure he did. Warwick Davis. I'm pretty sure. No. He might still be alive. I'm pretty sure he might still be alive. I honestly don't know.
I just remember. Yeah, I just know that there's been a few.
So, I know Jordan did, but Haley, have you seen the most recent Invisible Man movie?
Are you talking about the 2014? No, it wasn't 14. It was.
I want to say.
What year?
What year was it, Jordan? You just watched this. I want to say 17.
Uh,
The last one they did.
Is it the one with Elizabeth Moss in it?
I think so. Pretty sure.
Well, there's one that came out in 2020.
Is that the one? Is Elizabeth Moss in it? That's gonna be the.
Yes.
That's the one you watch for the show, right?
Yeah, that's 2020.
Yeah. So okay, perfect. You've all seen it. That's gonna make this way easier. So the people who are making
seen it, but I've seen pieces of it.
Okay, so you're familiar with it. Equally easy because
you're aware of it.
You're aware of
it.
Is
the point.
Because the people who made it are making a Wolfman movie. So I'm like, are they finally getting that crack at that dark universe? And I mean, all these going to cross over? I didn't watch the trailer because I heard that you don't really see the Wolfman in it. It's really more of a teaser trailer. But I mean, Jordan, you saw that movie. Suited? Not suited? What do you think?
I mean, it depends. If it's a singular thing, I think it could be good. If it's supposed to be connected, I know they wanted it to be a connected universe. I really don't see it.
Fair enough.
Personally.
Yeah. I mean, how do you do the Wolfman like real? That's one that I'm like, that's always got to have an air of supernaturalness to it.
Yeah, but if it's like its own insular story, I mean, that's cool. I'm always down for that.
Right.
I just kind of think I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, not everything needs to be a connected universe.
No, sometimes you just need to make a pretty good Wolfman movie.
Yeah, you can just make the story be like stand on its own two legs. That's okay. That's cool.
Right. And then.
But that's just my perspective.
And then, what do I got left here? I guess we'll just we'll end on Jordan had to deal with some Broadway news, so we're just gonna talk a real bit brief about a Spider-Man news, a comic book news, real bit brief. I don't know if that's a saying. I don't think it is. I just made it up. So they announced the director for the next Spider-Man movie, and it's not John Watts. It is the same director. It is his name is. Destin Daniel Cretton. I'm almost entirely sure I mispronounced that. The director of Shang-Chi, if you've seen Shang-Chi. And I
have seen Shang-Chi.
I'm also pretty excited for this. He had some really competently directed. That bus sequence is enough to make me go, you know what?
Yeah.
I could watch some Spider-Man.
He had some good fight scenes in Shang-Chi. I'm interested to see what he does with Spider-Man. I'm also just interested visually if it's gonna kind of stay in the style of the No Way Home ones, or if he's gonna kind of go in his own direction, what that might look like. I'm interested.
My thing is like if I would want him to do the grounded like version where he teams up with Daredevil, and according to we'll just sneak in a bit of Venom. The Venom 2, the Venom 3, the newest trailer came out. Looks like Null's going to be the bad guy. That's going to be nothing to Hailey, and it barely meant anything to Jordan. But he's like a big bad, like Thanos level bad guy. And so the rumor is that Spider-Man 4 is now going to be because Sony wanted it to be a multiverse thing because that's what made money last time. So we don't deal in rumors on the Spur of the Moment podcast, but the rumor goeth that Spider-Man 4 is going to bring back Toby, Andrew, and Tom Holland, and they're going to fight Null, and Tom Hardy's Venom is going to be there, and they're all going to team up to fight Null, and they're all going to get symbiote suits. And I'm like, too much.
I mean, that sounds ambitious. It doesn't sound realistic or like it's going to happen.
Right? I'm like,
but it sure sounds ambitious.
Too much. It sounds nice.
I mean, I don't think if you're going to do that, I don't really think you need to bring back Andrew and
like a Tom Holland, Tom Hardy team up.
To me, Yeah, that's enough.
I do
Like,
want
you don't
that.
really need more.
Right? Like
I absolutely think that would be cool.
I do want that.
Or like, it doesn't even need to be a Tom Holland. You could literally have it be Tom Hardy and any one of those Spider-Men.
Right?
One of them.
Right? And it'd be like,
You don't
I'm
need
down
to
for
do
that.
all three. That was cool for the last Spider-Man movie. That was like a once in a lifetime thing.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. In fact, you could have it be Tom Hardy and the Across the Spider-Verse Miles Morales character in live action. I'd be cool with that too.
That'd be pretty rad.
You could just have any one of them.
Right,
and
just
I'd be
one.
Okay.
One is okay. One is enough.
Just one.
And then Tom Hardy Venom. That's enough. But that's well, no, I did promise. I promised to reveal one more element of the mystery story. Hailey, just to speed everyone up to where we are now. There is a mystery story that previously when we were supposed to have guests on, they couldn't make it, so I punted the mystery story into the future, and I've decided every time we have guests on, we're going to reveal a little bit more of the mystery story until
he refuses to tell me, his loyal co-host, and it's eternally frustrating. So
and it's not a bit. It's not a bit. He has no idea off air. So
and he really won't tell me.
I won't tell him.
It's very frustrating.
So the one more element that we will be revealing this week is it is animated.
Okay, it's animated. And what was the last one?
It's a movie.
It's an animated movie.
It's about an animated movie.
I'll have to stew with this.
That's it. That's all you get for now. That's all you get. That's all you get for now. Maybe we'll reveal what the animated movie is about in the future, maybe, but not today. And with that, we're going to move into the sponsorship section, and we're going to attempt to play. Today's episode is sponsored by the Final Frontier podcast, the new podcast on the Arte podcast Pantheon. I'm going to attempt to play you the trailer for it in about 2 seconds here. Today's been a tech nightmare for us with the stream crashing midstream. So we're going to hope that this works. I'm going to hit the number 2 button, and we're going to hope that this works. Here goes nothing.
The Final Frontier podcast. These are the voyages of Jake Boger and Justin Spurr. Our weekly mission, to explore memories of Star Trek's strange new worlds, to recall the search for new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has had the spare time to go before.
There's a real delay on YouTube, so I don't know if we're back yet. So I'm just gonna. Oh, we're back. We're back. Okay. Yeah, that was the trailer for the Final Frontier podcast on the Arte podcast. It's pretty good. It's like this, except for by this point I take notes, which has impacted this show in the sense that it's made me tempted to occasionally take notes, so I actually remember the bad jokes I make when I watch these movies. But with that, we're gonna move into the main topic of today's episode, and that is animation that's not Disney.
Not Disney, because Hailey is the Disney person, so it only made sense to not do Disney. That's how I see things. So we have covered.
Makes sense to me. We have split this up into 3 separate companies. Yes, we know there's lots of companies. We didn't get them all, but Jordan has taken the works of Leica. I have taken the works of the Blue Sky Studios. And Hailey has watched, well, I know at least one DreamWorks movie because you mentioned you had watched The Prince of Egypt. Did you get to any others?
No.
No, you did get to watch The Prince of Egypt though. Jordan watched. Have you seen Kung Fu Panda 4?
I watched a couple DreamWorks.
Yeah, maybe you'll have seen some of the ones. I'm feeling like these are fairly like mainstream enough movies that I don't think I'm gonna hit you with any stumpers. But Jordan gets to go first. So Jordan, what is your first?
My first rapid fire that I watched was Coraline, which is one of Leica's first ones.
So we begin with Hailey. Have you seen Coraline?
I love Coraline.
Beautiful, excellent.
I also love Coraline. It's a cute one. It's one that I really enjoy. I remember for the longest time on one of my YouTube playlists, I had that Coraline song, making up a song about Coraline.
That's the lead singer of They May Be Giants, which I didn't even know. I was like, oh, it's an actual like pop star, like a singer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. Neither did I. I know. I learned that.
Oh, Justin's having lag again.
Gosh darn it!
Are you there, Justin?
I'm here.
Okay, good. It was just a momentary sputter.
All right.
Yeah, no. One thing that I found that I find funny about Leica movies in general is they really have a trend of being kind of creepy for children's movies.
Yeah.
So Coraline is definitely cute, but like part of the movie is her hunting down dead children's like eyes, spirits, souls, what have you.
Yeah.
Which for a kids movie, I'm like kind of intense.
Yeah. The other mother is like, you're like, why? Because I think I don't know if it's all of them, but I know that some of the people from Leica, they came over from the Nightmare Before Christmas, I believe. Because I think the director of that, I don't know, did Coraline, I believe. But yeah, that movie's suitably creepy. Other mother is upsetting. She's an upsetting figure.
I mean, yeah, the point where they're like, we need to take your eyes and replace them with buttons, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, keep that needle far away from my eyes, please.
It's also I mean, stop motion animation to me. Yeah, they're of the bunch the most ambitious.
Is impressive.
Yeah.
Well, her whole thing is, she made her world more so beautiful and so fun and exciting, and she takes like things from what each of her victims loves, and she puts them in her world.
Yeah.
So then it entices a child to want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's definitely comparisons that are pretty immediately apparent near the end of the movie of she's a spider. She's a spider luring these children into her web so that she can, do her thing.
Eat them.
And so, yeah, eat them, kill them, take their souls, what have you,
What have you.
Absorb their childlike innocence and energy. It's kind of creepy.
Right?
Which, hey, that's what it's setting out to be.
It is.
Which,
My thing is like, not enough modern kids animated movies traumatize children nearly enough. Like when you go back and you watch like animated movies from like the 70s, the 60s, 70s, whatever, or even the 90s, as far back as the 90s, we've been discovering, and like those movies are borderline upsetting at times. And like I just don't think I don't think the Minions are like upsetting enough. Like I think the Minions need to be more upsetting. Like that's my stance. That's my stance I'm taking today. Is that the Minions need to be more upsetting. They're not upsetting enough.
A really fun fact, though, is I learned last year that that Coraline was Leica and not Disney. Oh,
interesting. I mean, I can see why you would make that mistake. Yeah, because it does seem like it's a different. And to be fair,
that would be a horrifying, terrible Disney movie.
It would be because I mean, but it's got the vibe of like an old school Disney.
It would harken back to like a Hunchback of Notre Dame, kind of level of Disney, where it's not afraid to traumatize.
It's not afraid to be upsetting. Yeah. Jordan, do you have anything more to say about Coraline before I move on to? I
mean, it's a good movie. I enjoy it.
I do enjoy that one.
That's my final thoughts. I enjoy that movie.
I don't think it's their best though. I think we'll.
Oh, I mean, I like all of the Leica movies. I watched all 5 of the Leica movies. I'm excited for the 6th one that's coming out.
Yeah.
But I watched them all, and I like them all for different reasons. It's on the upper end of my scale.
I like the fact that that because they have a low filmography, like they don't have that many films. They only have 5. That
They
means
have 5.
they only have 5. The quality is better because they're putting more time and more dedication. And to be fair, their movies require more time. That's the one thing I love about their movies is seeing in the Coraline doesn't do it, but I think from Paranorman on
Paranorman does, and Kubo does, where you see you get to see shots of like them putting together
I thought
the models or
I'm sorry, Paranorman sucks.
Hot take.
Coming in hot.
Respectfully disagree.
We are gonna get there.
We'll get there.
But the box trolls. There's a post credit scene, I believe, where you see them being worked on while they watch people do stuff. I think so. I think there's one in box trolls.
I think you're right.
I hated both of those.
Oh really? Oh, well, that's okay. It's interesting, contrasting view.
Justin, are you there?
I'm here.
Justin.
Jordan. I hate this stupid computer.
Hello, Justin.
I'm here.
Justin?
I'm here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello, Justin.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. He's back.
I hate
He's
this.
back.
I hate this so much.
It's
Anyway.
really just like it muted.
Yeah, it's kind of just like you stop and then you cut back in. It's so frustrating.
It's fine. It's fine.
Anyways,
it's fine. It's fine.
Well, don't worry. We're gonna make our way through the other Leica films because they're all on my list.
Yeah.
But Coraline, like I said, Coraline is on the higher end of my scale.
Fair enough. See, I think I'm the one with the ones that, or with at least the one of the ones that I watched that is just straight up bad. But we're gonna get there. So my first one is Rio. Hailey, have you seen
Rio?
Have you seen Rio? You've seen Rio. Do you like Rio? I'm judging by the flat look on your face. You don't like Rio. Why don't you like Rio? What is there to not like about Rio?
It's stupid.
It's really dumb. But to me, my thing was with a lot of their movies is I can kind of reduce them to it's all right. It's all right.
The point where I want to turn up that bird into fried chicken. I don't care.
But like also, my favorite character in that movie is Jermaine Clement as the cockatoo, because to me he's like the perfect representation of a cockatoo. Where like if a cockatoo likes you, they love you, but if a cockatoo doesn't like you, they're a mean bird. Like they're a mean animal. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like cockatoo videos online. Totally worth it. But like they'll bite, they'll scratch. They are mean animals. And yet Jermaine Clement I can't remember what the character's name is, but as that cockatoo, that in the second one, he's just so unhinged as that character. Like I don't think there's a performance where I haven't liked him. Like in Say What You Will About Moana, Shiny is one of the best songs in that movie. I
love that song.
So like, yeah, I've never heard a voice role where he isn't just phenomenal, and I think he elevates that movie. But I do get you. It's on the lower scale of not very good, but that's it. It's Rio. It's a pretty basic. Odd couple story. You know, the birds don't like each other, and then by the end they have babies, and then they sing a song, and Jesse Eisenberg does a musical number, and he's clearly being pitch corrected, and it's hilarious. And Anne Hathaway can actually sing and won an Oscar for it, and it's noticeable. It's really noticeable.
Yeah, I mean that movie is pretty paint by numbers.
It pretty much is, yeah.
It's everything you expect it to be, for better or for worse.
But I thought that was going to be my position today. I thought after I watched Rio, I went, and the next one on my list, I went like, I just feel like it's gonna be, and Ice Age. I just felt like it was gonna be me being like, they're all right, okay, forgettable movies. Like I don't think they have a good movie, and I was proven wrong. Jordan, or not, Hailey. Might as well we'll do Prince of Egypt. So you watched Prince of Egypt this week. It clearly was not your first time watching Prince of Egypt.
It was on TikTok.
Oh, hey, look, man, that's how I watch all my movies. most of my movies is on TikTok or shows. Like have you ever seen
5 seconds at a time.
If you've seen Kevin can fuck himself? I've seen some of that show just on TikTok. So like no judgment. But had you seen it before in not TikTok form?
No.
No, so that was the first time watching Prince of Egypt was via TikTok.
Like 5 minutes at a time.
Hey, look, hey, that's fine. What did you think of the Prince of Egypt? Did you enjoy
That's
the
hilarious.
My brain at this point can only handle 5 minutes at a time. I've been so obsessed with TikTok that my brain can only handle 5 minutes at a time.
Again, no judgment. I'm the same way. It's how I take a lot of my television. I don't have time for TV now. I watch it in 30-second increments on TikTok, so I fully get that. But how did you enjoy it? Did you like it?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Interesting. Why no?
Why no is because I'm gonna get a little bit like preachy here and a little bit, religious here, but it's straight bullshit.
Fair.
I mean, here's what I'll say. I'll be the first person to say I'm not religious, so you're not gonna catch flack from me on that end of it. My response to that is most movies are fake.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of go. That's how I go into this story. It's a story. Most stories are fake.
They take it. They take stuff from the Bible. It's all in the Bible.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. The Bible is a story. I'm not religious. I don't believe in God. Like full disclosure here. I don't believe in God. So every story in the Bible, as far as I'm concerned, is just a story. It's make believe. It's same as Darth Vader is. It's to me they're they're the same kind of thing. They're both equally as real. So I when it comes to this movie, because I've watched The Prince of Egypt in my day, and I enjoy it just for it's a movie. It's an animated cartoon movie, and I'm not a religious person who's like, oh yes, there was actually a boat that was filled. Oh, wait, no, that's the other religious guy.
That's Noah.
There's not a guy who had a magic stick who spread the sea and walked through it. We got there. I remembered what the story was. But so I can enjoy it just as a story.
My thing is, it's like the scene where I can't remember her name. The woman who put her baby in the basket.
Oh yeah, I don't remember her name. No, Moses' mom.
Moses' mom. Yeah.
Mom. Puts her baby in the basket. Like, you can't tell me that baby fucking survives for real. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, as far as the Bible is concerned, it did. That's kind of, I mean, that is probably.
I mean, in terms of a movie. Sorry, Justin.
Oh, I just said, as far as the Bible is concerned, it happened.
I'm not hearing you, Justin. I'm hearing you in the other room, but I'm not hearing you on video.
Man, I don't know.
This is the worst, man.
Yeah,
this is
really,
the worst.
This is the worst. I have to get a better.
I swear, this is like. We need to get him a new computer.
You got to get a better computer. We say that every week.
But yeah, even in the Bible, like that story is just like, okay, you can't tell me that's not bullshit.
Okay. So here's where I'll play devil's advocate. Pardon the phrase. But they would say like that's the miracle, God, and he just.
Damn it. Come on, man. Why does Discord keep fucking crashing? Am I at least still live?
God damn it.
My Discord just keeps crashing.
Yeah, the stream crashed again.
Why did the fuck me? God damn it! Hold on, I will fix it. It doesn't say. It's the thing that's frustrating is in OBS it still says we're streaming. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's because I don't think it's OBS which is crashing. I think it's your internet. I think it's the There must be something wrong with the Wi-Fi stick that you're using.
There must be. Oh, it remembers it. Oh, perfect. Okay. Sweet. I don't have to retype it.
Good.
Create broadcast.
Good. That saves us like 10 minutes.
That's gonna save me time next week too. Oh, I don't have to remember these. Dang it. That's fine. I have to check it every single time. Hi, everybody. Welcome to part 3. I hate Discord. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Prince of Egypt. We are talking about putting a baby in a basket down the river and how that's sort of slightly implausible.
And you said as far as the Bible is concerned, it's real. I was saying while we were waiting for you to catch up, I was saying to Hailey that they would argue the Bible, the people that believe in the Bible would argue that that's the point. It's a miracle. God is the one that saved the baby. The magic sky god is the one that kept the baby alive because he had a plan for him and he wanted to make sure that he survived so that yada, 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 yada. But in terms of a movie, a structural movie, and that's the tact that I'm going to be taking this is from a movie standpoint, he's got main character syndrome. He has to survive so the movie can happen.
That is true.
That's why the baby can survive is because he's the main character.
Yeah.
He has to survive.
Be a decidedly shorter movie if an alligator
he's the Tony Stark.
Yeah.
He has to survive the desert. Sorry?
Potato.
It'd be a decidedly shorter movie if an alligator just
ate the baby.
Jumped up and ate Moses. Yeah. Okay, but what did you think of the music, though? You must have liked the music.
Shorter and much darker movie.
A much darker movie. What did you think of the music? Surely you must have liked some of the music.
The song that she sings as she's putting the baby in the basket.
All right, okay, fair enough. So overall, you did not care for the Prince of Egypt, is what you're trying to say nicely. Which is totally fair. I
mean, fair enough.
Fair enough. Not every
different strokes for different folks.
Different
We're
strokes
not
for
here
different
to
folks.
judge.
I appreciate that you watched something that you hadn't seen before. That's always great. How do we know we don't like things?
Other than like the animation, like the animation was beautiful. Like don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful movie, but other than the animation and then that one song, it's garbage.
Hey,
I mean, look.
That's such a strong word.
Garbage is so strong. Okay, I'll give you it.
I mean, that's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, everyone is entitled to their opinion,
right?
And we respect.
They can be like, "What the fuck?"
We respect all opinions. And look,
we respect all opinions.
And look, the animation is beautiful. Like, there's a lot of beautiful animation. A lot of really fun. Like the chariot sequence at the beginning is very fun. Yeah, and if you're not a religious person, I don't feel that movie is overly pushy with its religious messaging, but I can see how it would be.
I think segments of it are. Segments of it are, but I that's where I say, maybe I'm blessed. I don't know, however you want to word it, in the fact that I can watch a movie that's supposed to be religious and it's just a story to me.
Yeah, enjoy it.
It's a story as valid as Darth Vader and the Death Star, or Frodo and the One Ring, or third example that I can't think of,
or other examples
where it's like they're all.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, let me put it to you guys this way. I believe more in the Death Star and Darth Vader being real than like every religious thing.
Oh man,
that happened.
You guys are gonna get me canceled today.
I mean, yeah. I'm not. I don't disagree. I don't think it's real either. That's where I say I just can enjoy it as a story.
I'm
like
gonna
as
have an
a
opinion that
fictional,
doesn't get me
not
canceled.
not real story. If other people choose to believe that it actually happened and it's real, that's hey, power to whatever you choose to believe in. I don't, but
Well, actually, I
hey,
will say that there is.
no
I
judgment.
think there is historical evidence. Oh, not to turn this into a historical podcast. That's not what this is. But I think there is historical evidence that Moses was real. Like he was a real person at the very least, and that he existed. But I don't actually know. That I don't want to say that with any strong conviction
Yeah,
because I don't actually know.
I mean, yeah, religious history is a fascinating subject for some, and it could make a podcast in its own right. But I mean, that's really not. We're here to talk about movies.
Jordan, what's your next like a movie?
My next like a movie, because we could. That's a whole other debate we could spend all day talking about.
I
But
didn't even get into this.
again,
This.
we here at the Spur of the Moment podcast believe that everyone can believe whatever they choose to believe in, and there are no bad options, and we're not trying to piss anyone off.
Exactly.
But I am as me and Haley and Justin are as entitled to have our opinions as the people who choose to believe.
Don't lump me in.
Justin, we're lumping you in.
Don't lump me in with your
Are
blasphemy.
as entitled to. I'm lumping you in, Justin. Are as entitled to have our opinions.
I don't like that I'm being lumped in.
People who believe in Zeus are.
We're lumping you in, Justin. Sit down, shush.
Justin, sit down and shut up.
I feel lumped
Justin,
in.
We're a pair. You're being lumped in here. You're being lumped in. We're as entitled to believe as we want to, as people who believe in Zeus can believe in the thunder god.
All right.
So the next movie that I watched was The Box Trolls, which I'm just gonna say it wasn't one of my favorite Leica movies.
I've only seen it. I think I've only seen it once. I like that movie, but from what I recall, but I don't recall it enough.
Twice. I've seen it twice, and I like all of the Leica movies for one thing or the other. So like, it's not to say that I think it's a bad movie. I just of the Leica movies, there has to be one that's on the bottom of the scale, and this is kind of it for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Personally, I mean, yeah, I'm not. There's not really much that I can say. I appreciate the animation work that goes into these stop motion movies. I'm always going to respect these just for that alone. But when you have characters like the Box Trolls don't talk, they make like grunty, like kind of noises, and to me, that just I don't like characters that do that when they're kind of the main focus of the movie. It just makes it hard to follow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Me, personally.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so, and then the human characters, I like the bad guy. I think the bad guy is fun, but the rest of them are kind of just bland. That's kind of my thing with this movie, is it's kind of bland.
Fair enough. So Haley, have you seen Box Trolls?
10 minutes of it.
10 minutes of it. Didn't do it for you.
That's how bad it is.
Didn't do it for you. It's fine.
I think
that's kind of how I feel about this. Is just it's fine.
I think we went to see this in theaters off the back of the strength of how much we liked Paranorman.
Yeah, I think so. So I think if that's the case, then I've watched it 3 times. Because I know I've watched it once at home before this.
Interesting. I think I've only seen it the once, and it was in theaters, from what I can recall. It wasn't one of my favorites.
I said. No, like I said, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
That's kind of it's fine.
Hey, speaking of it's fine.
It doesn't bother me. It's not offensive, but it's not at the top of the list either.
It's fine. So speaking of it's fine, I assume that's it. That's all you got.
Oh, that's all I got, man. Fine. It's Box Trolls.
It's Box Trolls. So my next one is Horton Hears a Who. with Jim Carrey as Horton and Steve Carell as the Who. Now we're gonna ask the question, Hailey, have you seen Horton Hears a Who?
It wasn't terrible.
Actually, see, I'm glad you've seen these because it makes this easier on me. It means I have to describe it less because I thought it was okay. Like, it didn't blow me away.
I think I've only watched that one like once.
I know
Maybe
that
twice.
I watched the ending
I've
bit.
seen it once.
I've seen it a couple times. I think at least 3. But I like the bit at the end where they sing "I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore." I've watched that a bunch because I think that part's funny. But
yeah, that I've seen that I've seen on TikTok a few times.
There's a Jim Carrey gives kind of a really kind of like impactful line at the end when he thinks the Clover is going to get wiped out. But otherwise, yeah, it's just kind of like it's all right. There's just nothing. The animation's not that stand out. The story's not that interesting. Like the characters aren't really. They're just kind of like stock. Like that Seth Rogen character.
Yeah, like that. What I remember feeling about that movie is it's chicken soup. Like it's not like super interesting. It's not hurtful. It's just kind of exactly what you think it is.
Yeah. Like Jim Carrey, he clearly wants to be like, oh, I'm a voice acting guy, and he just, I don't know, he's just not giving it. It's a character. I don't know if it's just the writing or I don't know what, but it's fine. It's fine. This was a point where I was like, because I watched Rio and then I watched this, and I was like, you know what? They're okay. Like they're not offensively bad.
You know what? I think I understand why this movie studio isn't around anymore.
Right? Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, they're fine movies, but they're not really moving the needle for me. Like,
yeah,
they're okay. So that's it. That's all I got for. That's all I got for Horton Hears Who.
Burnett in it?
She was, yeah. She was. She plays
like, the kangaroo lady.
She's the kangaroo in that. Yeah, I will say that the movie does a really good job of like demonstrating fake moral outrage, like because she's a Carol Burnett is a kangaroo who is pearl clutcher. Dang it! Give it a second.
We need to deal with this issue, man.
We really do.
I think he's back.
You're back.
Carol Burnett plays what is known as a pearl clutcher. You would know it. You would know the character as Reverend Lovejoy, Helen Lovejoy, Reverend Lovejoy's wife. Yeah. Real 1980s moral panic and moral outrage. Like she riles up the people into being afraid, kind of character, and she does it very well. She's very funny. There's a funny.
The modern definition of her, I believe, would be a Karen.
Yeah, Karen.
She's a real Karen.
She's a real Karen. And then Will Arnett.
I only know her from Annie.
Oh yeah. She was. Yeah, she absolutely was an Annie.
Interesting.
Yeah. She's Miss Hannigan.
Okay. Interesting.
And then Will Arnett's in there. He's a pretty funny vulture guy. He's got some funny lines. Joe, what's your next Leica movie?
Yeah. I forgot he was in that.
Yeah.
Well, my next movie is not. All the rest of my Leica movies are my have scenes and have not scenes. So my next rapid fire is Chicken Run.
Oh yes, Chicken.
Figured I'd stay in that kind of style. Of animation.
That stop motion. So let's start as always. Hailey, have you seen Chicken Run?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
I could see why you wouldn't, because is that not Aardman? That's Aardman, right?
No, it's DreamWorks.
Yeah, but did Aardman not do the animation?
I have no idea. I'd have to look it up.
Because I'm almost
Let me get back
entirely
to you.
Aardman. If you're not, you may not be familiar with them by name, but they did. Are you familiar with Wallace and Gromit?
They're the guys that make Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, they're the guys that make Wallace. Are you familiar with Wallace and Gromit?
I've seen Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, they're pretty sure they did.
We lost Justin again.
I'm pretty sure they did Chicken Run. Hold on.
Chicken Run, produced by Pathé and Aardman Animations.
Yeah.
In partnership with DreamWorks Animation.
Interesting. So that makes me wonder if like DreamWorks came in and was like, we'll fund, or they saw Wallace and Gromit and were like, we'll fund whatever weird movie you want to make. And they went, hear me out. Chickens.
So,
and they want to run.
For those who haven't seen it, essentially, Chicken Run, very basic movie, is about these hens are on a chicken like on a farm, treated horribly, and they want to escape. And that's kind of the entire plot of the movie.
It's a parody of like Great Escape, like internment camps, kind of, and they're in what is essentially an internment camp. And yeah, a rooster, they think he can fly, gets in, and they're in a egg laying farm, and the owner wants to convert it into a chicken pot pie farm, which kind of seems like it has a shelf life.
I mean, it certainly seems more, just as a person who's worked in that industry, it seems far more expensive to have to constantly buy new fowl.
Yeah,
as opposed to having a continuous source of them laying eggs.
Right? You'd have to like she's got like 5 or 6 of them that, okay, assuming that she takes all of them, then she's got to buy more, and that just seems more expensive than.
But then again, I see the argument. I mean, not to get into the business details of how this company would work, but I could see why you would also want that as a for sure source of product, whereas otherwise you have to rely on and this is kind of the point of the movie, is the chicken's egg laying abilities are declining.
Sure, but then I would be like,
why she wants to convert to that style is because,
yeah,
for sure source versus chickens maybe not laying eggs.
Sure, and
so, anyway. But Justin, are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Are we even recording right now, Justin? I swear to God, if we have to restart for a 4th time.
Yeah, so far as I know, we're still live.
Because the stream is absolutely stuttering right now.
I know. I'm still on Discord, so as long as it seems to kick me, or it seems to, dang it, motherfucker! I hate today.
And this will be like what, 4 if we have to restart again?
Oh,
this will. Is he back? Justin, are you back? Justin, have you returned to us?
I have, but I have to restart the stream again.
God damn it, Justin!
It's not my fault. I don't know it.
Maybe you need to restart the computer.
I don't know. It's too late. We're live again.
I think our record for having to restart was 3. So if this is the 4th time, this is now officially a new record.
I don't know why it stops the stream. It's saying again on OBS. It's saying it's still streaming. I don't know why it disconnects me from YouTube when it freezes OBS. I don't know why that keeps happening. It's really frustrating.
I don't know, but I blame you.
Hold on. We're still streaming.
We are now because I reset it when I was reconnecting with you guys.
Okay.
Frustrating. Annoying. I'll figure it out later.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about
Chicken Run.
All
right. I was.
we were talking about the infrastructure of
having a constant source of meat from the chickens versus an unreliable egg source.
Sure.
I can see why she would convert to pot pie.
But I would have a mix of both. I would have if you have healthy laying hens, I would have them lay eggs, sell the eggs, and then dang it!
I feel like this is the definition of insanity.
I hate everything. Why is this not working, Jordan? What is going wrong?
I feel like this is like
the poor Spotify listeners are having to put up with this the whole show. Sanity.
That's so weird because during that little stretch there, it was like we were traveling through time where like you were jumping through conversation. Like you went from talking about the eggs and then you're like, God damn it, why isn't this working? And then like a third section of this is so weird. It's so weird and it's exasperating and I blame you.
The poor Spotify listeners, Jordan. The poor Spotify listeners.
Oh my
God. Okay. Chicken Run. For the egg production. We can do this, guys. We can do this. I'm determined.
We'll keep this together. We'll
hold it together.
You'll have a 17-part video by the end of it, Justin.
I might just like.
I haven't seen you for the past
No.
hour.
I hate everything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
But you show when the stream is going, you show up there, so it really doesn't matter if I can see you, as far as I'm concerned.
You show in the stream.
So,
yeah.
As long as the stream is chugging fine, that's all that really matters. But I'm gonna have to. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna splice the 1,000 parts this is gonna turn into. See, for me, it doesn't show that I'm streaming.
The 17,000. No, it just shows upcoming so far.
Does it?
But I assume it'll catch up eventually.
It says I'm streaming. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's usually a 17-minute delay. You know that.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Hi, everybody.
I'm thinking it must be the Wi-Fi stick that we have in the back.
It must.
It could just be. It could be the computer itself. Just it doesn't have the what is it, RAM or whatever that it needs. But I could also believe it's the Wi-Fi.
I don't know, man. We had 4 people in one episode, and we didn't have this many trouble. It does not seem to. Discord keeps crashing for some reason. I don't know why. This computer just doesn't like Discord, and I cannot figure out why.
To be fair, how many programs do you have open in the background?
Just Discord and OBS.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. If you say so. I don't know. Weird. Anyways, we talked about Chicken Run.
Yeah,
we didn't really get to, but we didn't get to talk about it a lot. But I've kind of given up on it because it seems to be the thing that's killing your stream. So let's move on to the next thing.
I mean, what else did you have to say about Chicken Run?
That it exists.
It does.
Let's talk about the next one.
But my one thing I would say about it is in terms of the egg production. We're talking about egg production. I would keep both egg producing chickens and when they were unable to produce, then do both, and then last that is that way producing a healthy farm. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, from what I understand, I think that's kind of what they were doing. Because the eggs, once they stop laying eggs, they take those chickens away.
Oh, fair enough.
I think they were selling that meat. She just wanted to no longer have to worry about the birds laying eggs and just wanted to jump straight into the turning them into pot pie part of it.
Fair enough. That was my last thought. That was my last thought on Chicken Run. Unless you had any more.
That's fair. No, I mean it's got that Wallace and Gromit style. So it definitely feels like one of their movies. Them's organized.
Days indeed organized.
Them's organized.
So, moving along in my week, my thoughts that they make all right movies, right? Blue Sky, they make all right movies. And then I looked upon their filmography once again, and I was reminded that they made the Peanuts movie.
I like that movie.
That movie is really, really good. Have you seen the Peanuts movie? Are you a fan of the Peanuts at all? If you're not familiar with them by that name, Snoopy and Charlie Brown.
No, and no.
No, you're not a Snoopy and Charlie. I love me some Snoopy and Charlie Brown.
Oh, I've seen the original Peanuts.
Okay, so you're familiar with them as characters. You've just not seen this movie.
I've seen.
Sorry, Hailey. I think he's having lag issues. Justin, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I had a feeling because he's not usually one that cuts people off like that. So,
I'm here.
You're here?
I'm here.
You're back?
I'm back. I never left.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were lagging there because Hailey kept trying to say stuff and you kept talking over her, and I'm like, Justin doesn't do that.
Oh, what was Hailey saying? Before I rudely cut her off. Jordan? Jordan.
Hailey was saying that that she has she has watched the original Peanuts.
Yeah.
I've watched the original,
So you're familiar with
but
them as
I've never
characters.
seen like the new one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cute. Do you like them as characters? Are they like characters you enjoy? Like, did you grow up with them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if
It's
you
the
like them,
the new movie sucks.
what, the new movie's so
I
good.
like the new movie.
The new movie nails.
cute.
Yeah, it's cute. It's a nice low stakes. There isn't really much of a conflict. I just love how his friends are never endingly dicks to him. And the thing that's great about Charlie Brown, I find in any animation, is they always sound the same. Like, you're always like, that sounds like Linus, or you're like, that sounds like Charlie Brown. Like, it's always the character first. Am I lagging again? I'm lagging again, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you lose me?
You were talking about Charlie Brown, and then it got all garbly.
Well, the thing about Charlie Brown is garble, 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 garble,
Yeah.
garble, garble, garble. No, the thing about Charlie Brown is
Yeah, that sounds about right.
the thing about Charlie Brown is they always nail the voices. So it always sounds like Charlie Brown, or it sounds like Linus, or it sounds like Lucy. Like, they always like sound roughly the same.
Well, part of what makes the Peanuts in film, like in movie form, what makes them easier to do than other characters is they're usually just played by kids, like different kids every time, who kind of vaguely sound the same, like they vaguely sound similar.
Yeah.
And so it's very easy for them to just get a new group of kids to come in, and it doesn't sound wrong because that's kind of just what they always do.
Exactly, and it works. And like, I really like this movie's art
works.
style of like, it's a beautifully animated movie. I love the art style of the 2D over the 3D models. Like, it always makes your characters like way more expressive. The fact that they got Bill Melendez in there, archive voice, so it's the original Snoopy, is super cool. And it's just overall a cute movie.
For me, it's kind of a guilty pleasure where it's like, when I need a cutesy movie that like doesn't require much focus and I can put it on and it just puts a smile on my face, I put this movie on.
It's one of the few ones where I'm like, it's a legit good movie.
Like, it's fun. It's cute. That's the word I would use to describe it.
It's cute. It's cute.
Inoffensive.
So Jordan, what do you have? One more rapid fire?
I have two, but I could do one.
Okay, because I only have one left.
Okay.
And we should just barrel through this.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a choice. B movie or Kung Fu Panda 4.
Okay, we'll put it to Hailey. Hailey, have you seen either of those movies in the past?
I have not.
You have not seen. Are you familiar with either of them?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the B movie, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't seen the B. No, actually, that's a lie. I haven't seen the B movie since I was like really young.
Okay, but so you're familiar. Okay, let's do the
B
B movie.
You have seen it.
I have seen it.
It's a deeply weird movie. We'll do the B movie then.
Okay. It's definitely a Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
He saw that bit where he's like, bees shouldn't be able to fly and then he thought that was clever. And then, it's just a vehicle for a slew of bad bee puns. Although I will say, the best version of this movie I've ever seen, or at least one of my favorites, is, I don't know if either of you are into ASMR, but there's a really quite well-known ASMR person who she did the entire movie with all of the ASMR people across YouTube, and it is like one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Because when you strip away the animation and you just hear the dialogue, you truly appreciate just how weird a movie it is.
That is ridiculous. I need
you
to know that's ridiculous. I need you to acknowledge that's ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. It's amazing.
Okay. Okay, and now that you have acknowledged that, we can move on, and we can say how this is not a good movie.
It's not a good movie.
I
It's not.
think even Jerry Seinfeld has come out and been like, it's not a very good movie. It's. I mean, it's definitely got his humor in it,
Yeah.
like all over it.
So it's not super funny.
Which I was gonna say, I don't think he's very funny, so it doesn't really land for me. The dynamic between the Jerry Beefield and the human girl that he like has a fantasy like he's got a crush on her sequence is weird.
It's almost Sausage Party.
Like the best representation of how I feel about most of what happens in that movie is what's his name, the guy who plays Kronk,
Patrick
his
Warburton.
character in it. Yeah, thank you, Patrick Warburton's character, where he's like, why does he talk again, and why is he here, and what is going on, and
Right?
what's happening?
I hate movies where it's like animals just talk. They just talk. There's no real explanation for it. They just do.
Talk and have an entire civilization inside a hive, and humans have never been aware of it for some reason.
Right?
Like it pushes, even for a kids movie, for me, it pushes the borderline of what's like believable, which again, for a kids movie is saying something. There's also just the fact that a lot of the jokes in this movie, I don't know that kids are even gonna get. Like there's literally a scene where he's doing an interview with what was it, Larry David?
Oh yeah, B. Larry David, yeah.
And he's like, there's a human version of you. And he's like, yeah, that's a common name. No. I mean, like, there's dots in the background. He's an old man with the suspenders. And he's like pointing. And it's like kids just aren't gonna get that joke. Like,
right? I'm like, who is this humor for?
What are we doing here?
It's such a specific joke.
Justin, are you there? Justin, did we lose you again?
I think we might have. Oh, now I've lost them.
Testing.
Testing?
Okay.
Testing.
We're here.
Okay. The stream is still... Oh, no, the stream's back. Oh, okay. Whoa. Stream freaked out. Now you guys are there now. Anyway.
Wow, you're right. I see what you mean on the stream. We did disappear for once.
Yeah,
that was weird.
That was very strange. Anyway.
This is the stream. This is the stream that does not want to work. So
it's Disney. Disney is trying to take us out. That's the only explanation. They don't like that we're talking about the competition. They're trying to take down the stream.
About other streaming services.
Right. They don't want us to talk about other companies. They're trying to take us down. It's right. Right. They don't. They're trying to take us down
because of ours.
I don't work for Disney, but I hope they have a job.
Oh man, this is just a stream that doesn't want to.
Are you there? Stream's freaking out again.
I don't know how to fix it. That's the worst part.
Justin.
Please stop that.
Justin.
Please stop that. Please stop that.
Justin. Oh, good, he's back.
Come on, stream. Oh, there we go. No, the stream's back. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out our Wi-Fi issue.
I've decided that's just what I'm gonna do every time now.
Please don't, because I can hear you the whole time, and it's really annoying.
Just start saying your name until you tell me to stop.
Please don't, because I can hear you the whole time. I don't need you to do that.
So yeah, that's my last rapid fire. Unless you want to talk about Kung Fu Panda 4.
No, I'm good. Not that badly.
That's the last rapid fire.
Because I only have one left anyway, and it's epic. Try that again.
Which one's that?
And it's epic. It's the one that's basically for.
It's epic. God, that's so cool.
No, I did that because I thought I froze, and so I went to do it again just in case just because you didn't react at all. So I thought maybe you didn't hear me. So that's why I said epic. No, that's fair. So you would go, what? I've never heard of this movie that I've seen.
I think I've seen that. That's the one with the clankers, right? Or the clanker, the guy who runs around, and they're tiny people.
Yeah, I don't recognize the name Clanker, but Yes, it's where they're tiny people.
Clanker.
It's
where the little guys they're inside the house and the dad is like stomping around super slow and they're laughing. Stomper. Yeah.
Yes, it's basically
something like that.
It's basically a variation of Fern Gully, where except for the girl gets small this time.
Yeah,
and it's got Aziz Ansari as a slug who threatens the other guy, and I'm pretty sure it's got Colin Farrell in it. And it's okay. It's another one that it's their attempt at fantasy epic, and like in terms of like its animation, it's a lot prettier than the other movies like Rio and Horton Hears a Who are very basic in terms of their animation. This one actually looks cool. Some of the action sequences are fun, and some of the voice acting performances are fun. It's got Christoph Waltz as the bad guy. He's pretty fun, but it's just kind of Fern Gully.
It's funny that you say Fern Gully. I watched this one and it more reminds me of Arthur and the Invisibles.
I could see why you would say that. I could definitely see why you would say
that. That's what this one makes me think of with Malthazar and the one kid and the characters and the one. We
didn't do. Hailey, have you seen Epic? Have you even heard of Epic?
No,
you're not missing much. It's all right. It's on. By the way, all of mine are on Disney Plus. It's fine. All of mine are on Disney Plus. Just so you know. So if you're inclined to watch any of these, it's on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
See, that's the one word that comes through every time. So clearly we're being sabotaged.
All these movies are on Disney Plus. Just so everyone knows.
Mine are not on any of the streaming services that I had, and I had to seek them out.
Right.
Other means.
Jordan, what's your first major have seen?
My first major have seen is, it's funny that Hailey said she didn't like this one because this is my favorite Leica movie, Paranorman.
Oh, Paranorman be so good! This movie's so good!
I love Paranorman. The last section where it's him talking to the poltergeist, the girl.
Yeah, it's really good. It's beautifully animated.
So
it's well written. The performances are good. I feel I got robbed at the Oscars, but I imagine Hailey will probably disagree with me. She probably thinks Brave should have won it. I don't think so. I think Brave is a worse movie. That's not to say that I think Brave is a bad movie. I just think that Paranorman is a better movie. And I'm sure
it is something. That's the important thing. He thinks it's something. One day we'll find out what. But
we'll get through this. We'll get through this podcast one day. One day we'll get through it.
I think you're completely wrong.
I'm sure you probably do. I really like this movie.
I think you're 100%
wrong. Why do you think I'm wrong?
Just because Brave is way better.
My thing with Brave, I just thought that movie was. I always forget about it. It's in the pantheon of Pixar movies. I forget it kind of exists.
So if I'm putting Brave up against Paranorman, sorry, am I cutting Justin off? Is he still talking and we just didn't hear him?
No.
Hold on.
No.
Are you there, Justin? You're done. Okay. If I'm putting Paranorman up against Brave, I like both, but I think for me the reason why I would tend to like Paranorman more is because it's different. Whereas for me, I like Brave, and I like the characters, I like the story, but it's a little more paint by numbers for me. Like it's kind of exactly what I would expect it to be.
Yeah. Also, as I expressed earlier, sorry, Jordan.
I was gonna say, whereas with Paranorman, you kind of have more of a zany cast of characters who, I'll just say it. I appreciate that. I can't remember the character's name. Hold on, I have it here. The older brother. When you find out, like the entire movie, the sister is kind of fawning over him, and she's like totally into him. And Casey or Mitch Down, she's totally into Mitch Down, and so at the end of the movie, after everything happens, she's like, "Oh yeah, we should totally watch a movie." And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, my boyfriend is totally into chick flicks," and I'm like, the fact that they just like last minute of the movie, it wasn't like a major part of his character, and they just say that.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
cool.
it's like they don't make a big deal of it, and it's just a thing. That to me,
I like
I
that.
like that. I thought that was a nice touch.
As I said earlier, I like my kids' movies
and
to be.
so,
Sorry, Jordan.
No, we're just not hearing what you're saying.
Yeah.
No.
It's like there was the
I feel like I'm in prison.
wheel of death. Yeah, there was the spinning wheel of death.
God, I hate the spinning wheel of
Yeah.
death.
Again.
Oh,
I heard that. I like my kids' movies to be a little bit different and a little bit bolder, and I think that Paranorman kind of captures that a little more. Whereas Disney, Brave is everything Disney or Pixar, as the case may be, where it's like it's basic, it's simple, and it's fun, and it's cute, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But if we're talking about winning an award, I think to win an award, you kind of have to push boundaries a little bit. And I personally think Paranorman kind of did that a little more.
Yeah, I like I said
and
earlier.
Again, that's not to say Whoa, Justin's catching up.
Like I said
Justin?
earlier, yes.
You're there, okay.
Like I said earlier, I like my kids' movies when they're a bit darker, and yeah, I think Paranorman. I'm not going to get to talk for the rest of this podcast. Every time I try to talk. Every time.
Yeah, it doesn't want to let you speak.
Oh, it's so frustrating. What the fuck? I'm starting to get pissed off. Like, I'm starting to get mad.
I mean, that's fair. I'm getting a little frustrated.
Yeah, I like my. Okay, we're gonna push through this. Hailey, why don't you like Paranorman? What's the matter? What's the matter with you?
Jesus Christ! God. I feel personally attacked. No, okay. I don't like the animation. I don't like the story, and I don't like the characters.
Oh, okay, the animation, that's fair. That I'll give you. Because stop motion is just, that's not for everybody. I didn't really appreciate it myself until later in life. Like as a kid, I was always like off put by it. I preferred the smooth 3D animation of a Disney film.
But Coraline is stop motion.
True, but I understand in this case it's a bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Weird.
This one's more stylized.
Yeah. I get it. When you say I don't like the animation, I get it.
Coraline's
I get it.
Better stop motion.
And it's also older, so
it's for me. It's one of those things where I don't necessarily think how to word this. Sometimes it's not necessarily the stop motion that I don't like in some of these, more as it is generally the style of the movie, which I don't necessarily like. So like, for example, with Box Trolls, it wasn't the stop motion that I necessarily didn't like. It was some of the stylistic choices. Sometimes, like, I think that the jaws are a little too square, or I think the eyes look weird. Stuff like that, for example, where it's like, it's not the entire style itself that I dislike. It's sometimes just choices that they've made.
But also, like, I like some of my favorite bits of animation in Paranorman is in, like, I think the opening when he's like brushing his teeth and you see the articulation of the mouth going ooh ah ooh ah. Did you hear any of that?
Yeah. You said the articulation of the opening the mouth, the brushing the teeth.
Yeah. That looks for the puppetry looks really cool because that's what that is, obviously.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing with these Leica movies is whether or not I like the movies themselves is a sliding scale. I definitely respect the amount of man hours that goes into making these movies, and the puppetry and the just the sheer amount of effort.
Yeah,
I can respect.
Is still in business? I don't think so.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're working on another movie.
They're about to do a sixth one. Yeah. Yeah, no, they're just their production schedule.
They're
My guys
working
had way more movies, but doing it on a computer is always faster though.
They're working on Wildwood, which comes out in 2025.
Yeah, it comes out next year. I'm excited for that one. So, Jordan, is there anything else you have to? I'm going to attempt to talk about Ice Age, but is there anything else you had to say about Paranorman?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I love the movie in itself, like its entirety, is fine. I really love the last section when he's having that entire monologue with the Pendergast little girl.
Yeah,
that's probably like, quite frankly, that's probably why I like this one the most, is that scene.
Yeah, it's so good.
Personally,
like
I think it just does. The music, like the music, amps you up to it's so
That's it. That's all you got for Paranorman.
But yeah, that's Paranorman. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to get through Ice Age without getting technologically interrupted.
And just to save you time, yes, I've seen Ice Age.
Excellent. I had a feeling. Everyone's seen Ice Age. I'm guessing when you were a kid, that was like you were a kid when you watched it. Yeah, same. We were kids when we watched that movie, and honestly, it's not bad. I was expecting it to be bad because I remember some of the later Ice Age movies being bad, and or looking bad at least because I never watched them until today. But it's honestly,
I remember the first one being good.
It's honestly pretty good.
Better.
I know I've seen the second one. I don't remember it. I honestly don't.
I like the second one better. And I like it better because Queen Latifah.
Oh, so that's when she gets it. Okay, because have you seen all of them or just like a few of them, like us?
I've seen just a few of them.
Okay, because
and they're working on 5, I think.
6.
6.
Yeah,
6? Okay.
John Leguizamo, he revealed that they're working on number 6.
Yeah. Which please don't.
I know, man. We're gonna get to the 5th one. The 5th one, real bad, yo. Just a spoiler alert. 5th one, real bad.
Yeah.
This one,
I think I'm pretty sure I've watched the first 3.
I'm pretty sure I've watched I know I've seen this. I know I've seen the second one. I couldn't tell you a thing about it, but I know I've seen it.
Too.
The first one, I was surprised by how funny it was. Of the animated movies of that era, I think it's maybe one of the better looking ones. Now, could that be because it's all in snow and none of the background environment animations have to look that great? Could it be that? But I thought that the models were expressive. It's an hour 20, so it's got to get to a point. Like, the character arcs are real short. They're real short. But I was impressed by how I didn't just hear Ray Romano. I was like, I hear Manny, the character. You know what I mean? I'm learning now. I need to check in to be like, you know what I mean, to make sure that you guys can hear me.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna develop that as a habit, and it's gonna be this show's fault. But yeah, I was surprised by it's a real kind of who's who of actors who aren't really around all that much anymore. Like Ray Romano, Dennis Leary is in it. Like I said, John Leguizamo. Overall, yeah, I was impressed by how not bad it was. I was expecting it to be bad, and I was like, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Jordan, I think you guys. I was telling George. I was telling Jordan earlier. I was like, I jinxed you guys when I came on.
I mean, it might be. I know. I just don't think it that because we've been able to support 4 people before with no problems. So it's me. I'm the problem. I just can't figure out why.
I blame Justin.
I think what I'm gonna do after the show today is I'm gonna uninstall Discord and reinstall it and see if maybe that solves my Discord problems. Because I don't. Yeah, it's weird and it's inconsistent.
When was the last time it was updated? Because that might be a thing.
I've never updated it since we started doing the show. So,
I mean, yeah, that might not be helping.
That's it though. That's it for Ice Age. Jordan, what's your next half scene?
My next half scene is Kubo and the 2 Strings.
God, that movie's so good.
It's so good. It's another one where that's at the top of my list of
I think that's their best movie. As much as I love Paranorman, I think that's their best movie. To me, that's like Laika's Princess Mononoke, if you've ever seen, like it's their like swan song, their opus, like it's everything, every technique led to that epic movie.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Okay, here's what I'll say. Animation wise, it's very impressive. The sheer amount of work that must have gone into it.
I don't remember what it is. The big thing that they show them animating it.
Yeah, the bone dragon thing, or not bone dragon, but the bone skeleton gigantic thing.
Yeah,
with the sword
insane.
Sticking out of it. That's so cool when you see that. So in the ending credits, for those who don't know, they have for a lot of the Leica movies, they do a thing where they kind of pull back the veil a little bit and do like a fast forward thing of showing you how they animate or how they put things together and stuff. So in Paranorman, at the end of that credits, they show them building the Norman doll.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, he stands up like in the studio, looks around and walks off the screen. Or in the Kubo and the Two Strings, yeah, they show them animating the fight scene with the when they get the unbreakable sword.
Yeah.
With the gigantic skeleton thing, they show them animating that.
And it's like 4 or 5 of them doing it,
impressive.
yeah. Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 of them all puppeteering it at the same time, and it's crazy and it's insane.
Oh yeah, it's very impressive. Like moving it a frame at a time, because that's obviously how stop motion works.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very cool and it's very impressive. And so just from a technical aspect of like like in the movie he controls paper, and so like when they have like all the pieces of paper flying by, you know that's them stop animating it, and the sheer amount of details that must have gone into it. That like I absolutely respect the hours and manpower that have gone into it, and that's not even talking about the story, which I'm also fond of.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun movie, and I do genuinely enjoy it.
Have you seen Kubo and the Two Strings, Hailey? No, you've never seen it. You should. It's a good movie.
I think you should. If you like, it's kind of more of a Japanese style story. So if you kind of enjoy that kind of style, that's more what the style is. It's less of their creepy, like,
yeah, it's way like there's no creepiness to it.
There's not really
It's more of a fantasy story than it is a horror, which is their sort of their previous. I would say that Box Trolls and Paranorman are more horror stories. This is a fantasy, and it's a beautifully told fantasy story.
Yeah.
In fact, it's really the inspiration for this episode was to talk about Kubo and the Two Strings and how much I love that movie.
Inspiration for this episode. That's what I think he said. But yeah, no, I enjoy it. I really like it. And one thing that I found with watching Leica movies is, for me anyway, it's either I really, really like them or I'm kind of indifferent and nothing in between.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar experience, with the exception of the last one I watched today. But we'll get there.
But that's all that I really have to say about Kubo, because it's these are kids' movies, and you know, kids' movies don't elicit a lot for me to say.
Yeah, fair enough. So my final half scene, I went way back into the archive of Blue Sky Animations for this one. I picked robots.
Oh, the blue robot.
Yeah, it's a blue robot. It is Ian McGregor. It's got Robin Williams in it, where he's a red robot, and he's an inventor. He wants to go to the big city and join the inventor, but it turns out that the big inventor guy is not inventing anymore, and it's being controlled by an evil bad guy who's taken over the company. You've seen this story 1,000 times before. And the little guy's got to rise up and beat the evil bad guy, and it's funny and it's cute. And it honestly, my thing is, I always find it funny when you take an inanimate society and you're like, but yet they still function by the same rules as humans do. So like the whole thing is, the commodity is they're all robots, so they slowly break down, and so they require spare parts. And so they've choked out the economy on the spare parts and replaced them with just straight up upgrades. and so they once you can no longer afford upgrades or get spare parts, you get like sent to the scrap heap and sent to like a chop shop essentially, where you're chopped up and turned to parts, which is like
it's kind of horrific when you actually stop and think about it.
Right? And so yeah, there's this conspiracy of they're undercutting the parts so that people will be forced to, so only the it's a really dark, or maybe I guess lazy allegory for capitalism, where they only want the rich people around and the poor people will get destroyed. And yeah, it's really dark when you consider that they get just smushed and turned into metal. It would be kind of like if when you were died or no longer deemed useful, you were sent to a butcher. Like that's effectively what it's like.
Yeah, more or less. It's kind of a little dark. It's a
really dark.
Little dark.
It's a little dark. Ian McGregor's really fun. It took me a minute to realize it was him.
I didn't realize that he was that was him. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm like, why did I
taught me that?
Why did I recognize that voice? And I had to Google it. I was like, oh shit, is Ian McGregor? Oh, all right then. I enjoyed how Robin Williams wasn't just the genie. He's Robin Williams. He's doing bits, but he's not doing pop culture bits. He's not the genie. So he's kind of different. Hailey, have you seen Robots?
Yes, unfortunately.
You don't like robots? You didn't care for robots?
Not a fan.
I love the Robin Williams part.
That's completely fair. I
can respect that.
What was it?
Everything else was straight trash.
Was this one? Did you watch that one as a kid, or is this one you went to as an adult?
Kid,
and you just didn't like it as a kid. My thing is a Robin Williams vocal performance will do a lot of heavy lifting, especially when I'm a kid. Like I'm like, he sounds like the genie. So yeah. I quite liked this movie when it came out. I think I was 12 when it came out because I think it was 2002. I also think it's from that era, early 3D animation era, so it doesn't look terrible. Like because they're not trying to do humans, they're all robots, so it looks all right. The animation looks okay. It's interesting. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's all 3D animation, isn't it?
It's another example of it just. Sorry. Oh, pause. Pause for effect.
Pause
Justin?
for effect.
Justin, are you there?
For effect. He's about to say his point. He's about to make the point. I'm building up tension, and he was just about to say.
So, my thing with robots is it falls into that category of kids movies where it's like it's not breaking any boundaries. It's not like making anything new. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's just okay.
It's just there to sell some toys. That's it. That's fine. That's all it needs to do.
It's brain candy. Like it's not good for you necessarily, but it keeps kids distracted for like what is it, an hour 30?
That one was 90 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So it's keeping kids distracted while their parents can go and do other things.
Honestly, that's
really why it exists. Also, I think Amanda Bynes is in it.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she has a romantic love interest with the Ian McGregor character, which made me feel kind of weird. At least it felt like it was going that way. But anyway, there's a lot of really funny jokes about when the character goes through puberty, his boy parts come. And he gets hand-me-down boy parts because they're poor. There's just a bunch of puns that were like, okay, that's kind of funny. Oh, I forgot to mention with Ice Age, I hate Scrat. I can believe that. I hate Scrat. That character is dumb.
But he's like their mascot.
Yeah, I know. He's annoying. His jokes are never funny, and he takes up a weird amount of time of the movie. Like the first, I think, 10 minutes of the first movie is just Scrat. And he adds nothing. He just kind of shows up in the middle for like one bit to tell them that the saber-tooth tigers are after them. None of them recognize it, and then he fucks off again. Like he doesn't really do anything. Sorry, I had to say that. So we're doing half scenes. Have not scenes, because that was my final half scene. John, what's your first have not seen?
My first have not seen
on the rails. We're on the rails.
Is we are rails adjacent. My first have seen is the last Leica movie. Have not seen is what I meant to say. is the last Leica film of the day, which is Missing Link.
I've seen this one.
It was the one that I hadn't seen. It's cute. It's fun. It gives kind of Sherlock Holmes vibes.
Yeah, isn't it like the one? It's Hugh Jackman, and he goes and he finds big. Wait, have you seen Missing Link, Hailey?
No.
I've seen it like one time, and it was one of those. I watched it on my TV, and I was on my phone the whole time, so I didn't really pay that much attention to it. But like from what I recall, it's Hugh Jackman is a famous like mystery solver, hunter, whatever, and he finds Bigfoot, who is Zach Galifianakis, and he takes him, and Pocahontas is him.
Yeah, he's a.
Give it a moment. Give it a moment. Give it a moment. Jordan, you there? Jordan, you there? Jordan, come back to me.
Are you back, Justin?
Come back to me, Jordan.
Are you back?
Come back to me.
Hello, Justin. Can you hear me?
I'm here, Jordan. Come back to me.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, yes. He wants to be Hugh Jackman's character wants to join the Explorer League or Explorers League. Words are difficult. He's kind of made a name for himself by going after mythical creatures and things that other people don't believe exist. So the first scene of the movie is him and his partner have found the Loch Ness Monster, and he's trying to get proof and yada, yada, yada. And then, he ends up finding the Sasquatch, the missing link, and trying to reunite him with his cousins, the Yetis.
And he's Zach Galifianakis, and he's annoying.
And he's, yeah. And, well, not annoying. He's cute in this one. It's fun. But, that's pretty much the movie is there's other hijinks that happen in it, which if you want those, then the movie can be experienced.
Do you have any deep thoughts about? Well, okay, I guess we'll go at it from this angle. What? Because I know this one wasn't really overly complicated. It's a lot more basic of a story than their previous movies, and I think that's why I didn't connect with it as much. Because I'm like, it's not a paranormal. It doesn't have those complex ideas. It's not Kubo and the Two Strings. It's not doing anything all that exciting. It's not, as you put it, pushing any envelopes.
Not really. It kind of just felt safe.
Yeah. Like Kubo was the one that took all the chances, and then the following one, they're like, you know what? Let's just do a nice, easy one.
Yeah. And that's where I say Hugh Jackman's character, he really reminds me of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
And it kind of just it's that kind of time period movie.
Yeah.
So all the characters kind of act like you would think they would. It's not really. Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Like it's fine.
So
and that's kind of what a lot of these movies that weren't like pushing the boundaries. That's kind of what my opinions end up becoming. It's okay.
So okay. At
I
the
like
end of
this
this,
more than the last one I watched, but we'll get to that.
at the end of this, for the Leica movies, now that we are at the end, Jordan, what is the best Leica movie?
Yeah, we're definitely hearing what you're saying, Justin.
What
is happening, Justin? Can you hear me?
I hate everything right now.
Hello, Justin.
I hate
Justin.
Everything. I hate everything. It's made all the more annoying when he does that.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm not getting. Okay, we got him back.
It's never about being able to hear you. I can always hear you.
Okay, well, I don't know that you can hear me until you tell me that you can hear me.
I can hear you every time.
So, what were you asking me?
What is the best Leica movie?
Oh. Okay. That's a complicated question. If we're talking technically, I would have to say Kubo and the Two Strings because they share amount of things that are in that movie that they have to animate, the puppets they would have had to make, the different for the scene where they have dozens of paper origami birds chasing the live bird, which means they would have had to have multiple puppets for that. Like just the sheer amount of things they have to animate in that movie.
You have to give a definitive answer.
I would definitively say that technically, or tech wise, it's Kubo and the Two Strings.
What is the least best?
Least best. Okay. It's probably. Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
Don't overthink it. First thing that pops into your head.
Well,
first thing.
I would probably have to go. The I just had the name of it in my mind. The one that's about the Yeti.
Oh, really? You didn't go Paranorman?
As the worst one?
No, I said least best.
What? I hate when you do this. So you mean second best? Second best would be Paranorman.
And then what's the worst?
The worst. Sorry, I'm gonna hold on. There we go. The worst is Box Trolls.
And the least worst?
Missing Link.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I would have figured you would have said. Okay, so then we're trucking along. My first, thankfully, I don't have a ton to say, but my first haven't seen was I watched Ferdinand. It's a movie about a bull. I don't think either of you have seen this movie. I don't imagine.
No, I don't think so.
It's John Cena. He's a bull, and he lives in a land, Mexico, Spain, sorry, where they do bullfighting. And he's from a bullfighting farm, and he escapes, and he goes to live with a little girl, and he grows up into John Cena, and he's a bull who doesn't want to fight, and he gets sent back to, because he accidentally rampages, he gets sent back to the bullfighting, and it's about him like making friends and escaping. And it's really cute, and there's a lot of really good musical numbers that are really cute. There's a really cute sequence where you see Ferdinand growing up and bonding with this little girl, and it's really fun. There's a lot of really fun jokes. It's generally a good movie. I'm totally blanking on any specific details.
It sounds very Disney.
It is very Disney. I think it's very good. It's quite a good movie. I was surprised by how much I liked it. It was very cute. It's stylized. Maybe it's because it's not their own machinations. Like it's based on a book from like 1938, which is basically a much more simplified version of it. Kate McKinnon is there. She's a goat. Anything else that's interesting about that movie? Nothing that I can think of. It was all right. Jordan, what's your last half scene?
My last half scene is a DreamWorks movie called Abominable, and basically these three young people are trying to help the Yeti get back to, what was it, Kilimanjaro? I kind of faded in and out of the movie a little bit, which kind of speaks to Mount Everest, right? And they name the Yeti Everest.
Gotcha. So they just find a rat.
So they're trying to take Everest back to his family on Everest.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I've heard of this movie. Who's in it?
It stars the voices of Chloe Bennett, Albert Tsai, Tenzing Norgay Trainer.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Eddie Izzard.
Oh, okay.
Sarah Paulson.
All right.
Sai Chin.
When did it come out?
It was released September 7th, 2019. Oh. And then it also says September 27th, 2019, United States.
Oh, yeah. I've never heard of this movie. I recall an Abominable, but to be fair, there was like 3 or 4 Abominable Snowman movies that came out within the course. Like, there's the one where it's like My Dad is a Yeti, and then there's the one where it's like, it's about the Yetis and the Yeti Village or whatever, the Yeti Society. I don't remember this one.
It's produced by DreamWorks Animation, Pearl Studio, and Zhongming Yu Ying Film.
Oh, so
Written and directed by Joe Colton.
It's one of those ones where it was like clearly animated in China, and then they brought it over here and redubbed it. Oh, I think I lost.
I mean, I didn't. It doesn't look like one of those ones, but I guess maybe it is.
So was it
all
bad?
I know is that it was kind of painfully generic.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I would use the word painfully generic.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if that elicits the opinion bad for you, then sure, it was bad. I don't necessarily think it was bad. It's just another one of those. It's cotton candy. It tastes good, but it has no substance.
Yeah. Is that all you had to say about that, or is there more?
That's it.
One thing I forgot to mention about Ferdinand that I really liked was the animals in Ferdinand sort of behave like regular animals. So like they'll be speaking like English amongst the animals, and it'll cut to them, and they're just like an animal exhibiting like a weird behavior. So like Ferdinand is like rampaging through the city, but like he's doing so like a regular bull. So they'll cut out, and it'll just be like footage of like a bull, an angry looking bull rampaging. And the animals never know any more than an animal would. So my last rapid fire was I watched the last Ice Age because I knew this franchise went places, and I wanted to be like, what is happening? So like by the fifth one, wait, have you seen the fifth Ice Age movie, Hailey? No? Okay, beautiful. This is gonna make this funnier. So by the fifth one, you mentioned Queen Latifah. So Manny now has a wife played by Queen Latifah, and they have a daughter who is an adult now, and she's gonna get
Palmer.
Sorry? Yeah.
Kiki Palmer.
Yeah, played by Kiki Palmer, and she is getting married. And it's a very basic. Ray Romano doesn't like the son-in-law. That's the main story, and they want to move away. And it's about Ray Romano and Queen Latifah are trying to convince them that they don't want to move away, and that's the lesson. That's the lesson they learn. And now the tiger has.
Yeah. We're definitely hearing you. Okay.
Please stop doing that. It's really annoying. You can't hear me. Can you hear me?
I can now hear you.
So the tigers.
Well, you in the past have told me to do something to let you know that we can't hear you. That's me letting you know that we can't hear you.
I know. It's just annoying. Anyway, the saber-toothed tiger also has a girlfriend now. I don't know when that happens. I don't know which movie that happens in. There is an old lady
Probably
sloth.
The fourth one or the third one.
Maybe. There's an old lady sloth. There is an old lady sloth. There's an old lady sloth. There's an old lady sloth. You hearing about this old lady sloth?
Would you say there's an old lady sloth?
Yes, there is. She's a new character. There's two. I don't know what they're called. What there are. They're like not lemurs, groundhogs. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I think they came in the third one.
And then there's a crazy badger thing that talks to dinosaurs. And the movie opens with Scrat finds a UFO. And there's a weird B plot where it's just Scrat in a flying saucer. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything. It serves no purpose beyond a minor thing that happens in the third act of the movie. Beyond that, it serves no significant purpose. But the conflict of the movie is there's a meteor that's going to hit the Earth and kill everyone. And they are going to stop it by gathering a bunch of magnetic meteor bits to divert it magnetically so it'll hit a different spot and not kill everybody. But like everyone in the for example, they know what a meteor is, even though they have no way of knowing what a meteor is. He's a woolly mammoth. Why would he know what a meteor is? Or in the case of
because the movie requires him to know, and you're overthinking it.
Or like there's flying dinosaurs and they know what an apocalypse is. It makes the movie not make any sense though. Like it's the thing is these characters have too much knowledge for what's happening in the movie.
It was never gonna make sense. Come on.
And yeah, it's
sorry. Not only is it Ice Age, it's Ice Age 5. Those movies stop making sense at like the second one.
And so like so then they happen upon this little group of animals who are living within proximity to the meteor, who are all like immortal essentially, and they've lived for 300 years old. And one of the sloths goes for Sid, who she becomes his love interest. So now he has a love interest by the 5th one, and like it's just a really bad movie. It's a really bad. There's one point where like the crazy weasel like touches the two badgers or whatever, and like you go inside his mind, and it's just Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he's explaining what's happening, and it's literally just Neil deGrasse Tyson. And then there's a bit at the end where the Neil deGrasse Tyson weasel just does a bit from his show Cosmos. It's bad and weird, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I thought the first movie was going to be. Bad and weird.
See, out of context, out of context with the way you're describing it, it sounds kind of hilarious. Like,
it's not
so bad it's funny.
It's not. It's just bad. It's bad. We're like, it's one of those like.
I'm not getting a response to that one.
It's bad.
Pause for effect.
At
this point, yeah.
We're almost there. We're almost at the end. This is the last one. I'm pretty sure this is the last one.
Maybe my sense of humor is just weird. To me, to me, it sounds, again, the way you're describing it, maybe the in practice isn't good, but just the way you're describing it makes it sound so bad it's good.
It's the kind of kids movie that makes you think like, yeah, they think kids are stupid. Like it's one of those where I don't know. I found it to be insultingly insufferable and terrible. Like it's like one of the like straight to DVD is how I would describe it. Like that's
okay. Well, I mean, it is 5 movies in.
Yeah, and they're making a 6th one.
Is that it? But I thought Blue Sky shut down.
Well, technically it got folded into Disney, which is why they're all on Disney Plus. So I'm guessing Disney is now producing it.
Disney's doing it, yeah.
Yeah, which means that'll be interesting to see if Disney does these movies differently. I mean, it's just one of those franchises where all the voice actors will just come back to do them anytime because it's either easy and it's an easy paycheck.
Yeah.
Please tell me that was the last movie for the week.
I have nothing else unless you have some secret, super secret story that you need to tell us.
I mean, not that I haven't enjoyed doing this episode, but like it's cursed. It's been cursed the whole time. I don't know.
Die.
I don't know. It's not Hailey's fault. Hailey has been on the show before successfully.
And she's been a remarkably good sport throughout all of our technical difficulties.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so okay with that. Hailey, I got to do the assignment for next week, and
I've been laughing through the pace.
We're gonna wrap up the show. Yeah, for those of you who are still with us, if you're listening to us on Spotify, I'm so sorry. You're gonna hear all the technical fuck ups. I'm gonna try to combine this into one video on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that I'll hear it.
I'm gonna combine them all into one part and just put them up as a YouTube video to try and prevent myself from going crazy. But with that, we gotta do the assignment for next week for Jordan. Transformers 1 comes out next week, and so we're gonna do a Transformer SEO friendly Transformers episode, where Jordan is gonna take on the Michael Bay Transformers challenge. Which, as a reminder, Jordan, remind me what the Michael Bay Transformers challenge is. You know, in case Hailey wants to do it.
Watching all of the Michael Bay Transformers movies as fast as I can, one after another, after another, after another.
It is a truly exhausting experience. And we're going to fill it in. We're going to pepper it in with some various Transformers series, television series that we haven't seen, as well as we're going to do a big review for Transformers 1 because I'm very excited to watch that movie. That's next week. Hailey, we'll probably bring you back when we eventually get Jake on to do that Dawn Bluth episode. Or we'll find another reason to get you back. But we'll get Hailey back. I realized I didn't give Hailey the opportunity. Hailey, where can people find you? where do you normally conduct business?
We're on YouTube at Part of Your Broadway World podcast. And you can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Excellent. I have linked your page in the description below. I will obviously be sharing when our episode about James Earl Jones eventually comes out. I'll share that. Everyone can look forward to that. Yeah, we talked about Broadway generally for like a long time. And then we talked about James Earl Jones a lot though. We did.
We started off talking about James Earl Jones and how I was upset that he passed away and how like this was a memorial episode for him. And then it just shifted to other musicals like, oh, forget James Earl Jones and
I'm a derailing influence. I'm the problem. I discovered that. But you can check that out. That's coming soon. I will throw it in the description of this video of the many videos that this became when that happens. Jordan, where can the people find you?
I do Minecraft Mondays on Twitch. I'm on ZethGore187, and I also do this every Saturday and sometimes Sundays,
and occasionally Sundays. I'm Justin Spurr on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok. This is on TikTok at Spur of the Moment P on TikTok. You can email the show if you want to sponsor us and you want us to sell stuff. We'll sell stuff. We'll sell stuff all day. It's Justin's business. All of those links are in the description. If you somehow manage to make it through this, do any of these movies sound good to you? If I didn't include one of the other Ice Age sequels, what's your favorite Leica movie? Leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, do all the things. We'll see you next week. We're going to talk about Transformers. We're done. We're out. This has been a disaster.
You're like,